Brazil, the land of samba, carnival, and jogo bonito, the beautiful game, has long been synonymous with footballing excellence. For decades, the Seleção was the gold standard of international football, a nation that produced legends, won hearts, and dominated the sport like no other. Yet, in recent years, the once mighty Brazil has faltered, its decline a painful reminder of how even the greatest can fall. This is the story of how Brazil, the spiritual home of football, has lost its way. A glorious past, the birth of a footballing nation. Brazil's love affair with football began in the late 19th century, introduced by British expatriates. By the mid-20th century, the sport had become a cultural phenomenon, deeply intertwined with the nation's identity. Football was more than a game. It was a way of life, a source of pride, and a unifying force in a country marked by social and economic inequality. The 1950 World Cup, hosted by Brazil, was a pivotal moment. The infamous Maracanazo, Brazil's shock 2-1 defeat to Uruguay in the final, left the nation in mourning. Yet it also fueled a determination to conquer the world. 8 years later, Brazil unveiled a new style of play, led by the incomparable Pelé, Garrincha, and Didi, winning the 1958 World Cup in Sweden. This was the beginning of a golden era. Brazil's 1970 World Cup winning team, often regarded as the greatest side in football history, epitomized jogo bonito. With Pelé, Jairzinho, Tostão, and Carlos Alberto, they played with flair, creativity, and joy, capturing the imagination of the world. Brazil became the first nation to win 3 World Cups, earning the right to keep the Jules Rimet trophy permanently. The heroes and villains of Brazilian football. Brazil's footballing history is a tapestry of heroes and villains, each contributing to its rise and fall. The heroes are Pelé, the king of football, a 3-time World Cup winner and the embodiment of Brazilian excellence. Garrincha, the angel with bent legs, whose dribbling genius carried Brazil to victory in 1958 and 1962. Zico, the White Pelé, a maestro of the 1980s who never won a World Cup but remains a symbol of Brazilian artistry. Ronaldo, the phenomenon whose goals in 2002 brought Brazil its 5th World Cup. Ronaldinho, the magician whose smile and skill lit up the 2000s. The villains of the Brazilian Empire. The 1982 team, often romanticized, this team, led by Socrates and Zico, failed to deliver, losing to Italy in the World Cup's 2nd round. Their failure marked the end of pure jogo bonito. The CBF, Brazilian Football Confederation, corruption, mismanagement, and a lack of long-term planning have plagued Brazilian football for decades. Neymar, while undeniably talented, Neymar's career has been marred by controversy, injuries, and a perceived lack of leadership, symbolizing Brazil's modern struggles. The decline. Where did it all go wrong? Brazil's fall from grace is a complex tale of systemic failure, cultural shifts, and global changes in football like the jogo bonito fading out. Brazil's traditional style, rooted in creativity and individual brilliance, has been replaced by a more pragmatic, Europeanized approach. The emphasis on physicality and tactical discipline has come at the expense of flair. As Zico once lamented, "We've lost our identity." The exodus of talent. Brazil's best players now leave for Europe at a young age, often before they've fully developed. While this has brought financial rewards, it has diluted the domestic league and disconnected players from their roots. The Brazilian Serie A, once a breeding ground for stars, is now a shadow of its former self. Corruption and mismanagement. The CBF has been riddled with scandals, from embezzlement to vote buying. This lack of leadership has hindered the development of infrastructure, youth academies, and coaching. Brazil's failure to adapt to modern football's demands is a direct result of this institutional decay. Globalization and competition. The rise of European football, with its superior resources and coaching, has leveled the playing field. Nations like Spain, Germany, and France have overtaken Brazil in terms of tactical innovation and player development. The 7-1 humiliation. The 2014 World Cup semi-final, where Brazil lost 7-1 to Germany on home soil, was a watershed moment. It exposed the cracks in Brazilian football, poor coaching, over-reliance on Neymar, and a lack of mental resilience. The cultural impact. Football as a mirror of society. Brazil's footballing decline reflects broader societal issues. Economic inequality, political instability, and a lack of investment in public services have all contributed to the erosion of the grassroots game. The favelas, once fertile grounds for raw talent, are now plagued by violence and neglect. The dream of becoming the next Pelé or Ronaldinho is increasingly out of reach for many. Moreover, Brazil's obsession with past glories has hindered progress. The country clings to the myth of Jogo Bonito, refusing to fully embrace the modern game. As former player Juninho Paulista noted, we need to stop living in the past and start building for the future. The road to redemption. Despite its struggles, Brazil remains a footballing powerhouse. The Seleção continues to produce world-class talent, from Vinicius Jr. to Rodrigo. The challenge lies in harnessing this potential and rebuilding a system that prioritizes long-term success over short-term gains. Brazil must learn from its past while adapting to the present. This means investing in youth development, modernizing coaching methods, and addressing the systemic issues that have held the nation back. The spirit of Jogo Bonito can still thrive, but only if it evolves. A nation in search of its soul. Brazil's fall from footballing greatness is a cautionary tale, a reminder that no empire lasts forever. Yet, there is hope. Football is in Brazil's DNA, and the passion for the game remains undimmed. The question is whether the nation can rediscover its identity and rise again. As the world watches, Brazil stands at a crossroads, its future uncertain but its legacy eternal. The beautiful game awaits its return.